In this lesson, I want to talk about the different file types available in Excel. As it turns out, the default Excel file extension, xlsx, does not actually support macro code, so we'll need to save our workbooks in a specified file type in order to ensure that our code is preserved and that it can run the next time we open the workbook. On my screen here, I have a brand new unsaved Excel workbook, so let's go ahead and get to the save prompt. I'm just going to press the keyboard shortcut Control+S. That'll bring us to the Backstage view, and in this case I'm just going to select anything that's going to bring up the save prompt. We're not actually going to be saving, so it doesn't matter right now. I'm just going to bring up the VBA course folder on my desktop where I asked you to unzip all of the course files. Right down here, we'll see this option Save As Type, and you can see the option that's listed here is Excel Workbook. That is the standard default file type, and in this standard default file type, macros are actually prohibited. It looks like right here, Excel is actually omitting the extension here, but the extension for an Excel workbook, a plain one, is xlsx, and it is no good. If we write our macro code in here and then we save it, Excel will give us a warning that says, hey, you're trying to save macro code in here, I don't support it. If you for some reason ignore that warning, which is highly likely because many times we just kind of save and click yes and don't actually read the prompt on the screen, if we accidentally save code in a regular Excel workbook, the next time we open it, the code will be completely gone and all of our work will be lost. So it's very important that we save our work in the proper format. If we select this dropdown, what we really want to do is always save our workbooks, at least in this course, in this format, the Excel macro-enabled workbook. This has a file extension of xlsm. You can always think of the M at the end as being short for macro. These macro-enabled workbooks are identical to the regular plain Excel workbooks. They look exactly the same, they have all the same functionality. The only difference is that they allow macros to be written and preserved. We're going to be sticking with this file format throughout the entire course. So there is one thing we can do to simplify the process of choosing this option as the default save type. Otherwise, every single time you'll save a workbook, it's going to default to Excel workbook and you might not properly save it in the right format. It's a little bit of a hassle to keep selecting the right choice. With that said, if you're using Excel for other reasons outside this course, you may not want to select this one as the default. So what I'm about to show you is an optional setting. This is setting the default file type as xlsm. You don't have to do this, but it's going to help make the course a little bit easier and make sure that you don't have to remember to do this every single time we save a file. I'm going to quit out of my Save As window right here. Let's just click Cancel. And on the left side of my Backstage window, we have this Options option. Let's select it. This is going to open up this Excel Options pane. It looks like it took me back to Excel as well. And on the left side here, I have Save. I want to select that. And right here, we see Save Files in this format, and the default xlsx extension is listed here. That's the Excel workbook. So if we want to change the default save type, we simply click this, select Excel macro-enabled workbook, and click OK. And that will, from this point forward, if I try to save again, ensure that the right file format is listed. Here we go. I just brought up the Save As window, and we can see it says macro-enabled workbook. Now this is a global Excel setting, but you can go ahead and change it back if you ever need to. Again, if you're using Excel for other reasons and you don't want to accidentally save your workbooks as macro-enabled workbooks, you might not want to choose this optional setting, but if you want to add a little bit of efficiency to your progression throughout the course, this might be worth taking some time to enable. That's all there is to cover here. The key takeaway is all workbooks that have macro code must have the xlsm extension, which is depicted here with the file type Excel macro-enabled workbook.